got nothing. What can I even talk about? Fuck. You kind of feel like you have to, you know, talk about shit because it's like that's what our world seems to be. It's just you gotta talk about things and you have to fucking have a point in everything you do, which sometimes bothers me. Just get irritated how, like, you know, someone will tune in and they're like sitting there like, come on, say something, make me feel, make me think, you know, or whatever it is. And I find that fucking irritating sometimes. This is how fucking people are. It's weird to me that people can't see that they are within a world. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you'll look at somebody and it's like they think like, nope, this and this is it. I fucking am here, I see this world, and this is all that it is. And they think, like, on a mass scale, how people always think that they are never wrong. How weird is that? Isn't that weird? Like, do you ever see people going around protesting, like, how wrong they might be? You never really see that, do you? Like, no one ever knows that. Like, they never think, like, you know, maybe the way I look, the world's fucking stupid. Maybe I'm not the one that should be here right now. Or whatever. I don't know. Like, whatever the protest is about. I just think it's fucking crazy. I try to stay positive in the world, and I try to like do the best I can. And it's easy with certain people. But when things start to be in the fog of people, that's when it gets difficult. You know what I mean? When you have a personal relationship with someone or groups of people, you can kind of forgive them, depending on if you like them or not. Sometimes you can't forgive them because they epitomize everything you don't like. That's a whole other bag. But when you think about in the terms of the people that you don't know, the they, them shit, isn't it funny that that's where we can always hang our hats on our hatred? People that we don't even know exist or not. I think that's interesting. I think that right there is absolute proof that it's actually you. You know? Something that we'll never grasp because, like, no, it can't be me. I'm the perfect one. I'm the one that's not crazy. It's everyone else. They're the ones that are nuts. They're the ones that are assholes. They're the ones that can't drive. Or whatever. I don't know. Any of the fucking they. It's interesting. It's always them. And I just don't know why people can't, like, I don't know why people can't say, like, you know, it might be me. It might surely be me. You know? Why? It's okay. I think that's a great thing to admit. That maybe you are the one that's the fucking asshole. Or you are the one that is what you think is wrong with this world. You know? I think it's too obvious to see that. It's like when you hear someone in a relationship and they're always bitching about the other person, and then they break up with them, and then they're bitching about the other person, and then they break up with them, and they're bitching about the other person. And at no point do they think, like, maybe it's me. Maybe I'm the, if this keeps continuing to happen, maybe I'm also doing something here. From either choosing these group of people that I'm fucking in a relationship with, or the way I am being perceived by them, and so they're reacting to that. Do you ever think about that? Do you ever think maybe it's you? Like that, but in the world, and everyone does it. You just move around this fucking world thinking that, like, oh, it's everyone else's fault that this shit's bad, not me. I'm the good guy. Or I'm on the right side of history, or whatever the fuck people make up in their heads. Whatever lie they tell themselves. I don't know. I think it's everywhere. And I'm not saying that I'm not guilty of this. You know what I mean? Like, obviously I do it too, and I really focus on it when I hear myself doing it, when I know I'm doing it, like, because you do it on autopilot, and when you finally can catch it, for me personally, that's when I go like, oh, pause, maybe it's you, dude, you know, and I just try to like, okay, yeah. I feel it happening in the moment, like my conscience is telling me, like, stop, chill out. Because at the end of the day, it's a reaction. It's a quick twitch reaction that you don't really have control over. It seems to just happen. And so you don't really have the tools to catch it when it's happening. It's something that you have to kind of train up, you know. And I don't know how to tell you how to do that, because I don't know. I think just be aware. That's the only thing I could say is a tip for that. Just be consciously aware of everything you think and feel. Because I think mostly that seems to be the problem that people have, where they're just not aware. You know what I mean? They're just not aware of their own minds. There are some people that go around in this world that share it with us that don't like think, or maybe not don't think. Let me say it like this. They don't have the tools of processing the shit that they did think. You know what I mean? Like, ask them how they feel about something, they can't answer it. Because they don't know how, they're capable, but there's some sort of block in like trying to access, like, yeah, I feel this way because of this, this, and that. Like, there's a block there. Whether that's a maturation thing, like if they were taught how to do this, or some sort of block of like, an emotional, like, I can't think of that word, but when someone is like kind of numbing themselves, it could be a case of either one. I don't fucking know. Something that even as I speak this, I'm trepidatious, a little bit leery, because I don't want to come across as like, yeah, so like perfection's here and then they're the evil ones. Like, no, I'm well aware that I have my own faults that really limit myself as I'm here in this world. You know, I have a lot of them. I have a fuck ton of them. For me, one of the biggest faults that I have is I dip so deeply into that, like my typewriter, and then I work through that to create my world. I do it very deeply, and I'm very involved in it, and it means a hell of a lot to me. And my office here is a shrine to the world I'm making, because I need all the tools I can to create such a mythology and a psychological experiment. I needed to be fully enveloped in it, because again, this is the vessel that which will take you to the other. Focus on it all like hard. But then when I'm presented with real world stuff, I don't have any, like, I don't know. I don't have any skill, and I feel so bad. Small things, like handyman stuff around the house, I'll just like be like, I don't fucking know. You know, or just like handling life situations. Like, it's harder for me because I feel so out of the real world that I'm like, oh my God, I have to like interact in here. Oh, this is gonna be tough. I'm not really good at this interacting in this real world shit. And it is, you know, like reasoning or like realizing that I'm within the world in a sense of like how I need to be portrayed, or how I need to react to a certain situation, or how do I remedy something. You know, like if I'm having issues in this new house I have, and there's a little thing that needs a little bit of work on it, and I'm sitting there like, I don't have this. I don't even know how to begin to think about doing this. You know, the God damn it, whatever it's called, the pipe that comes out of the shower head's like loose, and like my wife's the one that looked up and figured out how to fix it. And I'm sitting there like, oh, okay, cool. You know, you'd think I would want to, but I just don't wanna. Like, I don't have these skills of this world. I have skills that don't mean shit in this world. You know what I mean? Making up another world and all that. That's my fucking problem. I'm like half out of this world already, and like real world consequences will happen within my life, and I'm already like so like half out that I'm like, whatever. You know what I mean? Unless it affects my ability to have a calm step in this physical world. Like, for instance, financially. If something like that happens, I will freak out because like that disturbs the one foot that I have in reality. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't make it easier. I want to have it calm in this world because I have to go into this trepidatious other world all the time. So like that's my issue. It's like trying to function properly in this place. That's difficult for me. You know, wanting to do things here. Like, I feel like I have work that I have to do. I feel like I have things that are meaningful in a way that, I don't know, someone else may not understand it, you know? I don't think in any way that my book is like, this is like from, like, I don't know how to word it. This is the fucking book that will change society. Like, I just think it's a very good book that certain people will like and maybe it'll help them. And I like to think it'd be on a bigger scale, but it's okay if it's not. If it's even 5 people, that's pretty dope. Personally, that's kind of how I feel about it. I'd like it to be bigger because then I can have the financial wealth to like not have a fucking job anymore. So that's the reason why I want it to be very successful. And I try to hype it up in my mind. So I, you know, put that effort into it. But I don't think it's like mankind's greatest fucking achievement. You know what I mean? Like in any way whatsoever. It's just kind of been something that's very, I swear. Sissy, stop. She's just too loving. You're too loving. Little wet nose. I just kind of feel that way about it. And I look at the way that I perceive this world and how, let me see. Tap it. And how I am within it and how I seem to be like on the outside looking in. I know in the modern world, and when I say modern, I mean the past 100 years, when it comes to people that are slightly different in society, or their mind works differently, or I don't know, they don't conform necessarily, or they're just different. Like, I get that those things exist. And that is a possibility. But I don't like to just instantly say like, oh, mental illness. You know what I mean? Oh, just ADD, ADHD, or whatever the new avenues are. I don't want to do that. You know, I don't want to sit and believe that it's just this modern construct of mankind to say like what is ill and what is not ill. What is something that like you're supposed to feel these ways, and if you feel these ways, it's not good and you need to have medication. I kind of feel that way about it. Like, I'm not saying that I'm right in feeling that way. It's just that's my initial set. But to me, I'm like, there's a reason that certain people exist. I think we all exist for a reason. And that everyone is given a certain set of skills. A long time ago, before we had the word like, I heard Joseph Campbell once say schizophrenic crack up, right? And what he was talking about was shamans. And what he was talking about was people that would be in their society the shaman. And or whatever the society would call those people. And their job was, because they dipped into this other place, they became this religious, in a sense, leader of the community. Because they could go other places and bring back knowledge from another world. From another time, another space, the realm of the gods, like whatever it happens to be believed by that culture. And that was what you did. And there's a reason that those people were born, and now we just label them as mentally ill. And I don't think so. I have never heard, and I extensively listen to people that have schizophrenia, or hallucinations, auditory hallucinations, or visual, or whatever the fuck. Forgive me, I'm not like in the know of that. I watch them to the fucking T. And I've never like watched them and thought, oh boy, every time I watch and hear what they have to say or what they have to, their story is or whatever it happens to be, I'm always kind of like, not only do I kind of feel a kinship to it in a sense, even though I don't really have like hallucinations in any way or auditory or visual. I've never had them before that I'm aware of, right? But I still feel like, yeah, you're right. And every time they talk about something, I'm like, no, you're going somewhere, and I can sense that. And I feel like, I just don't know how to explain it. I feel like when I hear someone that speaks that's mentally ill, they're bringing something. And I want to take that and interpret it because I feel like there's some sort of thing in there. That's what I kind of think about it. And I don't have that weird like hang up when people are mentally ill. So to me, it's not a big deal. Whatever, I'm sure you could find something out about me if you really wanted to. Probably think that I'm in some sort of mental illness. Whatever, sure. I respect people like that because I see them still as the shamans or as the druids or as I can't think of that other word that we used to use, priests. Like I can kind of see them that way in my mind. I'm like, shit, you're more of my religion than fucking modern religion. And I know that sounds fucking stupid, but it's true. Like the things that I've heard people in that sphere bring back, and then I kind of take it and shape it my way, place it in my book. It's fucking amazing because they're accessing something. And I feel myself being this sort of like, if I understand Celtic, the way their hierarchy would work, you would have this druid class, and I think that's what the druids kind of were. Then you would have these other guys, these, let's just use one of the terms, like a bard, because there was divinators as well. Maybe this is the divination to the bard, I don't know. It might be that instead. Maybe the divinator to the bard, the one that conjures up the shit from the other world. And the bard's job, I think, is to interpret that in a sense to give it out. Like, he's coming up with this weird, crazy, otherworldly shit, and everyone's like, he's a fucking nutcase. He's schizophrenic as fuck. It comes to me, and I'm like, no, he's not. Hold on. And then I'm like trying to lay it out on a table. I'm like, look, that's what he's saying. And then people go like, oh, that makes more sense. I feel like that's my job, is to interpret that shit. Like, I'm never going to be the one that can go into the other. I've heard people talk about experiences of what we would call nowadays hallucinations, or I would say visual hallucinations or even auditory. I've never had anything like that. I've never seen stuff where I shouldn't have. Like things that don't exist, even though I think they probably do. Even if it's just here, because this is a portal. I think I've never had anything like that. I've never heard voices in my head, besides my own voice. If that makes, you know what I mean? Like, I can hear me in my head. Is that hearing a voice in my head? The voice of me is saying things all the time. But it's shit I'm thinking. So what is a voice in the head? And then I start to realize that, no, there's multitudes of voices in our heads because there's a multitude of consciousnesses that exist within us. Even science is starting to fucking see that. So I'm like, what if you aren't hearing fucking voices in your head? What if you're hearing amalgamations of sounds that spirits channel and use, and those spirits that channel and use those sounds are actually fucking emotions, or as we would defer them to as emotions, and that's all it is. You're just hearing senses of self and other, and when you focus on the negative, it's going to say negative things. I'm like, what if it's just fucking that? What if you aren't fucking crazy, and what if you just hear things that everyone else fucking ignores? Because that's the biggest goddamn thing that makes me relate with people that are mentally ill. Is every time I hear them talk, they admit themselves to who they are. They don't pretend to be somebody else. They don't go, I don't, that shit doesn't bother me, or, I don't like sit and dwell on things all the time. I'm always looking forward. Like, those kind of liars are the people that I'm used to hearing, and I'm sick of them. Like, they know there's bad shit around them, but they're like, I don't care, I just want to enjoy life. Or I just want to have fun. And I'm like, you fucking bitch. Like, that's what I'm used to. I love the fact that I can hear people that are fucking honest with themselves. That's what I mean, where it's my my religion. I'm just like, holy fuck. A human being honest about their expression in this world, and they're allowing themselves to see the darker side, or see the side that society can't grasp right now. Will they just throw you in the mental bin? Like, I don't know, he's crazy. Because he's not thinking these constructs that we all should think too. Like, that's what it is. It just blows my mind that we're just okay with this fact, man. There's a channel that I that I subscribe to, and it's a very small channel like mine. It's about similar size, and it's called An Old Sith. And that guy made a video about his experience with schizophrenia, right? You should watch it. It's pretty good. I like it because it's fucking honest. When I watched it and heard it, I'm gonna be 100% honest. The whole time, and I don't want to sound mean in any way, but it's true. I was thinking, I think you're okay. I think you're okay. I think it was tough. I think that affected you bad, and I think that that's been very difficult. And I think that it wasn't easy for you growing up in that way, in any way whatsoever. But I still, at the end of the day, when I heard it all in that video, which you should watch, I'm not going to talk about it because you should watch it. I'm just going to say, I think you're okay. I think you're the right person in the right place. And I think he mentioned having a book that he thought was really important, but then realized, it probably isn't, in some way, shape, or another. I disagree. I think it is. I really do. Because that's inspired me on a level that I can't explain. I literally cannot explain it. It's so deeply inspiring to me. So I'm just going to say that's just another person that I met that has what's considered a mental illness that I'm just like, no, I really think this is the most sane fucking person that I've heard in a long time. We just think it's bad. And I know that it's probably difficult having to deal with hallucinations. I don't know, I've never had them. So I'm not going to go out and say like anything more on that spectrum. I just think that there was a gift being presented. That's why I found that channel, and that's why I listened to it, and that's why I think it's amazing. It is. And that's kind of what's inspired me to think about all this stuff. Or I guess I get mad. Not at the people that feel that way. I get mad at society for making people that are mentally ill kind of like, ugh. Like nowadays they pretend like, oh, we care, we just want you to be better. No, you fucking don't. It's just like, it's so insincere, and I'm tired of it. I really am, and it just makes me angry. When I think people have gifts, and I know that they have gifts, that to me is like the most special thing.